So hi guys, so in today's video we would be talking about JAX. So all of you must be thinking from where suddenly I'm talking about this thing JAX and what it is, and we were on the TensorFlow series, so where I have become next. So don't worry, I would be telling everything in detail in this video only. So JAX is not another framework; it's just another library. So if any one of you who loves doing machine learning research or is interested in exploring more deep learning functions and wants more computational powers and want to get things started more fastly, JAX is the perfect thing for you. So if coming to the definition, JAX is a Python library designed for high performance numerical computing, especially when it comes to machine learning research. Its API for numerical functions is based on NumPy only, so not to worry about if you haven't heard its name yet. Even I heard the name JAX, I guess, 1 month back, and a collection of functions used in scientific computation. So both Python and NumPy are widely used and familiar, making JAX really simple. In this video, under 10 minutes, I'm going to give you brief about JAX, and I'm going to provide you 3 to 4 resources from where you can master it and get your hands on it and move to the advanced level. So, in addition to the NumPy part, we would be also seeing comparing both of them, how both of them are similar. So, starting with what JAX at a glance. So, it's as I already told you, it's a lightweight NumPy-like API for array-based computing, composable function transformations, execute it on CPU, GPU, or TPU without changing your code. When it comes to NumPy, things are a bit different, but in JAX, you can execute it directly on CPU, GPU, or TPU. And some applications we would be seeing in the coming slides. So JAX is fast. The main reason we are using JAX is it is fast. If you see, this is the data I have got from ML Community Days hosted by TensorFlow Google Developer Teams on their YouTube channel. I would recommend you to go and see it. It was an awesome event. And now coming to ResNet part, SSD part, Transform and BERT. You can see in all of four of them, JAX has performed really well. You can see that you can see the TPU version it is using, and this was done by the Google Research category, and it's measured in seconds, and lower is equals to better. You can see in the first one, JAX is on the first position, it's taking 28 seconds. In the second SSD part, it's taking 33 seconds, which is on second position. And in the third part, in transformer, it's again on the first position, and in the bird part, it's again on the second position. If you see the difference, it's only one, so you can consider it your first only. So out of all the four results, you can see that JAX has performed the best in all of them. So PyTorch hasn't performed, or MXNet hasn't performed up to date. But yeah, JAX and TensorFlow both have performed well. So now let's go to next slide. And you can see JAX is designed ground up from XLA. Don't need to worry. I would tell each of it in detail in the upcoming tutorial part. So you can see the whole transformation part, that JAX Python callable function. Same code runs on CPU, GPU, TPU pods. The best part of it, the user control over compilation boundaries. And when it comes to computation, you can see the ML Community Day video. They have told in detail. So you can see the physics, robots, protein folding. All of these are part where JAX was used in depth of that whole research part. Some things like differentiation, vectorization, and compilation always are concerned of time when it comes to research part in machine learning and deep learning. But JAX makes our life really simple. So let's move it to the tutorial part. I would just change the runtime to GPU, and it is, and yeah, we are good to go. So I'm sorry. So as I've already told you the definition, let's right jump into the libraries. So I would import NumPy and Matplotlib as always. These are the two libraries I always import. And now importing JAX NumPy as GNP, import grad, JIT, WAP, and random, and also lax. Lax is used for the logarithmic part. So let's move down to the main part. Let's see how do we generate random numbers in NumPy and JAX. We will be generating random data in the following examples. One big difference between JAX and NumPy is how you generate those random numbers. So let's see the NumPy part. We simply import from NumPy import random. X is equals to random.rand 5 and we print X. 5 numbers are be printed. Now, when it comes to JAX, we have already imported from JAX import random, similar to NumPy, I guess, and we have defined X as random prng key 0, and now random dot normal X comma the key where we are storing it, and the amount of numbers we need. So these numbers are going to be 10 as it is written, and we are going to print them. So I will simply print it, and as you can see has no attribute. So what happened here is random.prg key was not run. So for now I would just simply comment this line, and I would run this, and again I would run this, but this won't show you. So I would simply run this file again, and for coming to this part, for from JAX import random, you can see I would just simply come here and copy paste this and run this, and as you can see these are the numbers generated by JAX. You can see every time you would do, obviously it would be random. So coming to the next part, that is plotting in NumPy and JAX. So when you come to this part in NumPy, what do you simply do? X equals to NumPy and np dot line space 10 and 1000. I would just turn on the dark mode to make things quite easy, and y is equals to 2 multiplied by sine of x multiplied by cos of x, and we would simply plot x and y. So I would run this, and you can see the result is as following. It's easy. We have done this in at least 30 to 40 Colab notebooks, the same thing. Now coming to jack part, we have defined the same thing. You can see np dot line space gnp dot line space, and same thing happens here, np dot sine gnp dot sine dot cos, and we would simply run this, and as you can see it's almost similar, but the thing is JAX always works faster than NumPy because it works on the gradient part, as I told you in beginning. So differentiation made super easy. In NumPy, if you had to differentiate, you need to do a lot of things. Simply what we would do here, we would define a function sum logistic, and inside this we would return the gnp.sum, and I hope you know np.sum at least, and it's really easy. Now we would define x small and gnp.arrange. What is gnp.arrange? It return evenly spaced values within a given interval, and the derivative function is equals to be grad. Now this gradient part, so what this gradient part does, it by default calculate the derivative of the following with respect to the first parameter. So what we are giving it to it, the sum logistic. It's easy, and we would simply print the derivative. So let's do this, and yeah, this is the derivative 0 0.25 0 0.961 0 0.104, the following. So quite easy. Now coming to jax.jit, it is the function which is used to speed up the other functions. So jax run apparently on GPU or CPU if you don't have one, and TPU coming soon. JAX documentation wrote this. However, in the above example, JAX is dispatching kernels to the GPU one operation at a time. If we have a sequence of operations, we can use the JIT decorate to compile multiple operations together using XLA. Let's try that. So if you don't know about XLA, you can simply go to this link, and this is XLA, optimizer compiler for machine learning, really famous, as you can see, plus grad accumulation, and it's nothing basically accelerated linear algebra. You can read about it in detail. This is a whole documentation for it. So this is key equals to random.prng key equals to 0. I would simply do that, and we would define a function celu. So if you have seen my videos which are based on activation functions, you must be knowing what celu is. So we would define x, alpha and lambda, and we would return lambda.gnp.where and all the functions inside. Random.normal, again we are using that function of generating random numbers. And percent time it celu block you until ready. So you must be thinking, what is this block until ready? So I would recommend you to go and search for it. This is a kind of homework, because this is the best part of JAX. And I would run this, and you can see 100 loops of one run. Best of 5 was 2.09 millisecond per loop, and we can speed it with JIT. Now this was the simple part, but how to speed it, which will JIT compile the first time celu is called and will be cached therefore. So what we are doing, we are making cache of everything. If you know, have studied operating systems, you must be knowing what is cache and how all these applications in our laptop also works with cache. Not only laptop, actually on all the devices. So I would run this, and you can see the result within next 3 to 4 seconds, I guess. And yeah, you can see the slowest running took 536.80 times longer than the fastest. This could mean that an intermediate result is being cached. 1000 loops, and best of 5, I guess this is 5 is to 154, I guess ultra seconds per loop. I don't know exactly the time measure it's telling us, but yeah, this was it for the JAX function. You can study it about in depth or from the following resources. You can see JAX documentation document, and this is the best part obviously, and I would recommend you to watch this video,
Was
which is by the AI Ephemini, and believe me, this guy is awesome. His video on JAX are the best place you can learn JAX from. And this is from the TensorFlow YouTube channel. This is the community
Hi,
days,
my name.
annual community days, where they are telling you about all the application part. Even I took inspiration from there only as a student. So this was it for the video, coming to you, telling you about the JAX tutorial. What is JAX? And at least you know some basic things about JAX now. Now you can go and study about it in depth. So this was it for the video. Thank you and have a nice day.